So one movie that came and gone was Spider-Man: Homecoming, right?
Jesus, what are you talking about?
Spider-Man: Homecoming. Yeah, shut your mouth.
Shut
your mouth.
15.
Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Coming.
That movie came out, blasted the box office.
Well, it's actually re-released more recently.
Anyways, and speaking of re-release, Endgame got re-released so that it could beat Avatar.
And then
that's another thing that happened.
And then it did. Yeah, that's like way old news, but yes.
Exactly.
There's a lot of crap
that's what should have opened with.
This is the summer vacation, what happened.
Okay, so I have some notes then, some
Jesus.
stuff.
Real quick before you do that,
go through all those?
No.
Real quick. Spider-Man, the whole
very relevant
Marvel Disney thing. So in the last couple weeks, maybe week or two?
Last couple of days,
Marvel and Disney can't come to an agreement with Spider-Man, and pretty much they're going to end that partnership of having Spider-Man in the MCU.
So they say. We'll see.
Yeah, again, so they say money will ultimately win over.
No, here's the issue with Sony and Disney. Sony has for so long tried to be the king of the castle. So every time Spider-Man or one property, Men in Black or 21 Jump Street or whatever property starts to show a little bit of promise, they throw everything into it, fail, have some sort of in-house catastrophe, the Sony emails that were released, and they're talking about how racist and terrible and sexist all these awful people were. Mm-hmm. And everything falls to pieces. So you look at the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, genre-defining films. Sony was like, okay, no. Now it's really important to us, and we got to take control, and we got to be involved. And then you have Spider-Man 3.
Wrecked it. Yeah.
And then they're like, hey, we're gonna do this again, but we're gonna learn from our mistakes. No, we're not. We're gonna have Andrew Garfield be in 2 terrible Spider-Man movies. So then Disney comes along and goes, hey, we've done it like a bunch of times, and we know what we're doing.
Yeah, kind of.
Why don't you just lend us the character and get a free paycheck?
It's really funny because there was I think it was a tweet by one of Sony's guys who's like, Disney knows what they're doing. That's like one of the reasons we're doing this is they know what they're doing. And then recently with the announcement of the split up, the breakup, the divorce and custody battle is, we think we can handle it now.
Far From Home made $1 billion. We don't need you.
It's Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3.
Right. But think about this, though. Think about this for a second. What this legitimately means for Sony, Disney knows what they're doing then and right now. They want 50% of the stake instead of like some weird 70, 30, 90, 10. It was some weird, very Sony heavy. Disney goes, you wrote a character that you own. Yes, they own the rights to Spider-Man. But every single thing that happens in that movie, his character development, his every arc, storyline, everything is centered around the MCU. So you're going to tell me that in Spider-Man 3, Broken Home,
they're going to wrap everything
we're going to go, they can't, what are they going to talk about? He can't be the next Tony Stark. The snap didn't happen.
Right.
They can't reference any of the larger universe.
So
stupid. Mysterio's entire mission was to destroy Spider-Man because of this whole fake, situation with how he felt betrayed by Tony Stark. They can't even reference Mysterio's motives.
It's a big problem.
Yeah, and then plus they don't even have a director now because the director was a Marvel chosen director.
They got greedy, is what they
Sony's
did.
definitely, because they're like,
greedy.
We had Into the Spider-Verse, Venom that made almost $1 billion, or maybe made $1 billion, and then Far From Home that made $1 billion.
What needs to happen? We need Mickey Mouse to walk into Sony
and
like Bruce Wayne
slapping.
And just be like, I own this bitch now.
It's just like
he just writes the check to go swim in the pool.
Mickey just starts swimming in the fountain.
It's just like the South Park when he comes in right after the Disney acquisition, and exactly. But now he's got an Infinity Gauntlet with all the 20th Century
all the other studios,
whatever.
I mean, Disney's killing it. Like Netflix on their Q2, they released that they were forecasting like 5 mil subs, but they got 2.7. Yeah. And when they were talking about like their stock dipped, and when they were talking,
it dipped crazy.
Yeah. And when they were talking about why is the case, they stated that it was because of possibly not because of the price hike, which I actually do think it was. I think it's
a big part of that.
But they were also freaking out about competition, and they were talking specifically about Disney because this was a few weeks before Disney came out and announced their huge
Yeah, basically, threw everything on the table.
Their plan to acquire and take over everything. I mean, they announced that you're going to get Disney Plus with the ESPN Plus and
Hulu.
And Hulu
for like $12.99.
Crazy. They're like giving that shit away.
I'll get 3 streaming services for less than I'm currently paying for Hulu.
This is exactly what big corporations can do, like Amazon, that has shitloads of money. What they'll do is they come out with some product and they run it at crazy deficits and just flood the market till they become the standard. That's what Amazon did with the Kindle, right? Mm-hmm. And then once everybody liked it and had it, then they hiked up the prices.
Then the next iterations.
So Disney, they can afford to run at a deficit and make this streaming service at a loss. Yeah. While all the while they're eating Netflix's lunch, you know. I actually think that it's going to get to the point where Netflix becomes basically a cheaper HBO, you know, where it's all original programming.
Because that's what we're going to have to rely on, because everybody, like we talked about before, has put up a fence now, and they go, now we own our properties. Everybody's bought up all the big talent in Hollywood, and then they've gone, okay, let's see who can last longer.
I think
and Disney will last, and Prime will last,
and
Netflix
figure
can't.
out what was going to happen with the Marvel stuff that's on Netflix? You know,
that's
Daredevil
all done.
Gone where? Like in a void?
No, it'll still exist. You can watch it, but as far as continuing stories and stuff like that, there's no plans for it.
So is it going to stay on Netflix?
I assume so.
Wait, which ones?
Like Daredevil, Jessica Jones.
No. That's all going to Disney service.
Oh, is that all going to Hulu as well?
They're just going to erase the Netflix.
So they're pulling all their movies and everything, which sucks for Netflix, because they did it really well for so long, and everyone went, okay, we want a piece of that. Mm-hmm. And Netflix has enough debt that I don't think they can really sustain. They don't have any other sources of income. They're not Amazon or Disney or Apple or even NBC Universal when NBC's streaming service hits. We hope to have enough subscribers. I mean, The Irishman cost them $200 million.
Wait, is that going to be on Netflix?
Yes, on the 27th.
I guess I just thought November. It was going out to regular
so
theaters.
No, there's a few small theaters that will release in, because none of the big studios and chains, because, again, they're like, we hate you, Netflix, you big jerks. You're ruining everything. And so it's going to release in a couple of small theaters for 2 weeks, I think will be the run. Mm-hmm. And then on the 27th, a $200 million project will be available on Netflix for our lowly whatever per month that we pay.
So that's a month from now, you said, right?
Yeah, 27th, yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. So The Irishman, for those of you who don't know,
will be a de-aging movie full of de-aging.
Yeah, a lot of de-aging,
I'm hoping it'll be good in spite of that.
Dude, just have old Joe Pesci play young Joe Pesci. I don't care.
I just want Joe Pesci. Just give me Joe Pesci.
What? Like, again, I'm the way that...
What?
Holy shit, did I just break something?
What was it?
I still see the recording things going, so I think we're good.
I'm so passionate about needing Joe Pesci in my life